Hi, I'm Elkie Summer. And this romance of mine has been going on for many years. Like many millions of others, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool dog lover. And it's easy to understand why, if you ever owned one, right?
Tucked away in a 2-acre Bel Air estate lives one of Southern California's most avid dog lovers. She has 4 dogs ranging in age from 4 months to 18 years. In Europe, as well as America, the name Elkie is enough to conjure up the image of a beautiful movie star. In a career that has spanned 2 decades, Elkie Summers has starred in over 60 films. She is a critically acclaimed stage actress, a renowned painter, a singer, a race car driver, a top tennis celebrity nicknamed by Sports Illustrated as the Brute, and in this video, for the very first time, Elkie will learn how to train her own dog.
All right.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you. You played well.
Listen, can I turn this over, or is this too cruel?
You deserve it.
I deserve it. Okay, I'll do it then. Well, you see, I never play without my cheering section over here.
Yeah, and it's obvious who he was rooting for. You beat me 6-love.
And guess what? By tonight, we're going to have another cheerleader in this house.
You're going to buy another dog.
Buy one? Are you crazy? I never bought a dog. No, I'm going to save one. See, today it's adoption day, and I'm going to go down to the pound. They have this very special little guy set aside for me, and I'm really excited about it.
It's wonderful.
Do you want a drink?
Yes.
Let's have a drink of water. Yes, and who's crying? Oh, look at the puppy.
That's a little Siberian Husky.
Husky.
Mm-hmm.
Little mixture. Oh, what a face. It's a girl, though, right?
Right.
I'd kind of like a boy.
Like a boy.
Do you have anything?
Yes, I do, right here, as a matter of fact.
Ah, no. You knew, huh?
Well,
You knew. Come on, Marion. Oh, look at that. Oh, come here. Come to me.
look.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, look at that. Oh,
There you go.
Oh, look at that. I'm gonna push over for a pretty face.
Aww.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Oh, he's so precious. Marion, how much do I owe you now?
It'll be $41, Miss Summers.
$41? Call me Elkie, please, okay?
Thank you.
$41, that's including the initial shots.
They've had all their initial vaccinations, yes.
1, 20, and another 20, 41. Listen, $41.
He's
$41.
now yours.
Thank you very much. Do
You're
I have to
welcome.
sign any place?
Yes, right here.
All right. He's pretty well behaved, too, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. He might have been an owned animal before, but he's now
You
yours.
never know, but I'm still going to look into this education first thing I do, because it's so important.
Yes, it is.
Here we go. Look, brand new leash, brand new puppy,
He's set.
brand new mama. We're set. I thank you very much.
It's nice meeting you.
See you soon.
Enjoy.
Bye-bye, Marianne.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
A rescue from the animal shelter was just the beginning of the adventures for these two. Elkie's next task was to take her new friend, Alfie, to Michael Kamer, one of the world's foremost dog trainers. Kamer not only specializes in training untrained dogs, but also partially trained dogs that are still a nuisance. Known as the dog trainer of the stars, Kamer has trained the pets of Frank Sinatra, Cher, James Caan, Tina Turner, Barbara Streisand, Dick Clark, Pia Zadora, Shirley MacLaine, Sylvester Stallone, and hundreds of other celebrities. And he has appeared on the 3 major TV networks, as well as the BBC in England.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Miss Summer.
Oh, please call me Elkie. May I call
Okay.
you Mike?
Sure can.
That is really a star-studded cast of graduates you got there. Mike, were they all easy to train?
Yes, they were. Using the Kamer praise technique, which is comprised of equal parts of praise, repetition, and tone of voice, they all came around.
That's great. Well, now you can add Alfie and me to your list. We're in the hands of a real pro here. Mike is going to demonstrate how in 4 very easy-to-learn lessons you can turn even a rambunctious dog into the well-mannered love of your life, right?
Yes, Elkie, but I might also point out this training is also for dogs that are partially trained that still have nuisance problems.
Oh, I see. Listen, Mike, while you are teaching me how to train Alfie, my camera crew is going to get everything on videotape so other people can learn along with me.
Great.
So what do you think of my new prize package?
Oh, he's a real cutie.
Isn't he?
Yeah, follow me.
Okay. Come on, Alfie.
Why don't you just put Alfie on the table?
All right, Mike, there you go. Now, Alfie, listen to me. I'm really stuck on you, so you better measure up. Mike, do you think I made the right choice?
I think so, based on his size and what type of a lifestyle you live, because I would imagine you're going to probably want to take him with you quite a bit when you travel.
Listen, I'm going to have it in my contract. Where I go, Alfie goes. But what about his diet and health? What do I look for? What signs do I look for?
The first thing that you want to concern yourself with, which of course in this situation is a bit late because you've already fallen in love with him, would be when you're going to acquire a new dog, one of the first things you want to do is look at his eyes, and of course we're not veterinarians, but we're going to look at his eyes and see to our lay eye if it appears that the dog's eyes are clear.
Yeah.
There's no mucousy discharge.
Yeah.
There's no mucousy discharge from his nose.
Yeah.
His nose is wet. You can even get down and smell his breath a bit. Make sure he doesn't have a foul odor from his breath. That's sometimes beautiful white teeth.
Look at
Teeth aren't discolored.
Yeah.
Make sure he's got some meat on his bones so you know he's been eating properly. Another thing you can do is make sure he's up on his pasterns, which are the pads of his feet. A dog who's had malnutrition or has been eating properly many times will be flat down on them.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Right. And Alfie seems to have nice clear eyes, a nice wet nose. He's up on his pasterns and has nice meat on his bones. Another thing to keep in mind is temperature. Normal temperature for a dog is generally about 101 to 102.
Well, how do you take it rectally, of course?
Rectally, right.
If you hold still for it.
Yeah. Well, there's a little simple procedure for that. You can just place your hand under his abdomen and basically pick
up his tail and in you go.
Hold him under the abdomen so you're supporting his tummy.
Yep.
And then
And
put
he's
the
not gonna go
thermometer in.
anyplace,
Right.
yes.
You don't have to lift his feet off the ground. Just take some of the weight off. Leave it in for a couple of minutes, and that'll give you a pretty accurate reading of your dog's temperature.
Sit. That's a good boy.
Now, I know you travel quite a bit
Yes, I do.
with him, and one of the important things to keep in mind will be, will you really be able to give a dog quality time on the road?
I gather by quality time you don't necessarily mean an evening at Maxime's, right?
Actually, he'd probably enjoy
He probably would.
if he got to go along.
You know, I would take him everywhere, sure, because, and in Europe, especially when you work in Europe, you can take the dogs to any restaurant you want to. They don't say anything.
That's actually very good because unfortunately a lot of people that travel either leave their dogs home and they tend to pine and pout, or if they
And
do
get
take
depressed,
them,
right? Like people, yeah, because they feel lonely.
That's true.
No, I won't let that happen.
Right, so it's very important that you two get enough time each day where he really knows you're his pal.
Yeah.
And you get to take a good walk or spend some time going through an obedience lesson, that you do his feeding so he can know that mom's still involved with his life.
Yeah, I'm afraid he might share a taste for liking caviar.
Actually, he probably would.
He
Dogs
probably would.
like
Sure,
salty
$41 dog with $100 an ounce plate of caviar. Yeah, that's all we need.
But
what do I do about food on the road?
nowadays, it's pretty easy. They make an awful lot of dog foods and dog supplements that are actually dehydrated in packages.
That's good. Yeah, right.
And once we have decided what diet would be best for Alfie, you could take an ample supply along with you.
Yeah, or you go and feed him canned food, which is easily ready to be gotten everywhere, isn't it?
Well, it's best to take the diet along with him that he's used to, because just as when we travel abroad, you change food and water and it tends to upset your tummy, there isn't much you can do about the water.
I can see myself, 7 suitcases, 100 pounds of kibble, distilled water in one hand, traveling like a gypsy again.
Yeah.
A story of my life. But you think he's healthy and in good shape, right?
Yes, I do.
Good, well, I'm lucky. Congratulations, you passed. Now let's go outside and see whether he really has got star quality, okay?
Very good.
Okay, I'm proud of you, boy. Yes, it's a good boy.
The first thing I'd like to do, Elkie, is introduce you to the tools that we'll be using to train Alfie.
Okay.
And this is a 6-foot leather leash that we'll be using.
Like the ones that's on Alfie now, right?
Just like that one. And a slip chain.
Yes.
Now, both ends of a slip chain are absolutely identical. It makes absolutely no difference if you drop the chain through this link or through this link.
Right.
What really does make a difference is how it goes on Alfie's head.
Okay.
Now, making believe Alfie was in a proper healing position, which will be on the left side of your body, the loop of the leash, the choke chain goes over his head so that the link that's coming from the top of his neck is going to the link that's connected to the leash.
Let me try that. All right, so I'll take the loop and I drop the chain through it.
Right.
And then I put it on Alfie.
That's correct.
So it feels on my left for healing, on my left-hand side. So this here faces me.
Right.
And I have the control then of I see. Yes,
Right.
that makes sense. Okay.
Another thing I wanted to point out to you is that a lot of people think that a slip chain is something very bad to use on a dog.
Yeah.
When it's used properly, it's actually a very humane way of training the dog, because in fact what we're after is the noise that occurs when you snap it, when the leash is connected to it and you're walking, to get his attention focused back onto you.
And that doesn't hurt at all, right?
Right.
I see.
The other way that the slip chain is used is passively, and that means when you're walking along with Alfie, if he were to decide to lead, to go ahead of you because something interested him, the slip chain would automatically get tighter. He realizes that and simply drops back to your side, at which point it loosens
So
up.
actually he makes it uncomfortable for himself and therefore comes back hopefully towards
where it's comfortable for him, and in this way he's learning by repetition, passively, to stay by your side.
You hear that? You're going to learn all that. You hear that? Yes, sir. You're going to learn all that.
Now, the next thing that I'd like to do would be to explain to you the technique that we're going to be using in training Alfie.
Okay.
And the 3 elements of the Kamer praise technique are praise, repetition, and tone of voice. Okay, now let's start our first lesson, and that lesson is going to be healing, sitting, and staying.
Yes.
Now, to start that lesson, the loop of the leash is placed on your right thumb. And then you double the leash over, grasping it with the remaining fingers of the right hand.
How? Okay.
So that the excess, what we term the excess, is out of the way.
Okay.
Here comes the
In other words, let's repeat that. I take the leash over my right thumb, double the leash over.
That's correct.
And so the excess is out of the way.
Out of the way, dropped by your side.
Dropped by my side.
Your left hand comes down where it would be naturally, grasping the leash with the other 4 fingers and the thumb going underneath. That way, when you begin to walk with Alfie, you have both hands by your sides naturally, and he's learning to accommodate himself to your natural walking posture.
Right.
Now, when you start to walk, you step off briskly and you say, Alfie, heel. Once you've done that, you don't pause for Alfie. If Alfie decides he wants to sniff or scratch, he has to wait until you stop And when you say stop, you're going to tell Alfie to sit.
Okay.
Now, the way that you're going to have him sit or convey to him that we want him to sit is by coming to an abrupt stop, and when you do that, you'll release your left hand from the leash.
Yes.
You'll gently pull up on the right hand, which throws his weight to his rear.
Yes.
And you'll press your left hand on the back of his bottom, so we're virtually showing him where we want him to throw his weight as we say sit.
I understand.
Okay?
Okay.
Now let's start to do that. You'll say Alfie, heel.
Alfie. Alfie, heel.
And briskly step off and start to walk. Turn around and come back.
Alfie, heel. Good boy.
That's it.
Good boy.
Now turn about.
Sit.
That's very good.
Oh, you did it.
Now
How
praise
about
him.
that?
Tell him he's a good boy.
He did it.
Except,
good boy.
Except you don't want to do that to that degree because he's up now in broken position. And what we have to do is get him back into position.
Yes.
Give him a light praise and go through it a number of times. Then we give him a break and tell him he's a good boy.
In other words, I overdid the praising.
Right, right. We don't want him to feel that all he has to do is one little thing right and the lesson's over. So we do it a few times.
Yes.
Now have him sit again. Same technique. Pull up with the right hand, press down with the left.
Sit.
Right.
Is that right?
That's correct. Now, by maintaining control of the leash with your right hand, you would still have your left hand free to reach over, praise Alfie briskly, and tell him he's a good boy.
Good
now,
boy.
this is an important thing. When you're physically praising off, off. If he tries to jump on you, just say off and bump him with your knee. That will teach him not to do that behavior right away.
Okay.
Now, when you praise him, put a little bit of force in your petting so that Alfie realizes you're somebody to be dealt with. You're praising him.
I'm not just a wimp.
That's right.
Right.
But
Listen,
he's also
I'm not a
knowing
wimp.
there's some force in you and that you're someone that he should listen to.
Okay.
Okay?
Good boy.
Now
All
let's
right.
repeat that part
All
of the
right.
exercise. First we will go with the heeling. Start to walk briskly,
Alfie,
stepping off.
heel.
Right. And turn around and come back.
Heel.
Then stop abruptly saying sit.
Sit.
That's very good.
Ooh,
So he's
you did
picking
it.
that up
Very
very
good.
quickly.
Excellent.
Very
now
good.
don't lean on me. I
Very
have to
good.
bump you.
If he leans on you, you bump him off
Bump
with
him
your
with-
knee and say off.
Off.
Right.
Off. Okay.
That way
Good
Alfie
boy.
learns to support himself on his 4 feet without leaning against yours as well.
Very good. Yes.
Okay?
Even though I like it when he leans because it's so nice and cuddly, but we are here to learn something,
Right.
not to cuddle, right?
Right.
Right. Okay,
Okay, now let's start it again.
Okay.
Alfie, heel.
Alfie, heel.
Start to walk briskly. Turn around and come back.
Heel,
Don't wait for
Alfie.
Alfie.
Good boy. Heel.
Stop
heel,
abruptly and tell him to
sit.
sit. Except he should be sitting parallel to you, not in front of you. So when you stop, make sure that he and you are parallel. His front shoulders are parallel with your leg.
Okay. Okay.
And if he leans on you, knee him off
right.
and say off.
No, this is perfect. Look.
Right. Very good.
He's got it.
Now we're
Come
going to
here,
add...
you have a little bit of the tree in your hair. There we go.
Thank you. Now we're going to add one more command to this little set of exercises, and that is stay.
Okay.
Now what you do when you have come to the stop and Alfie's actually seated himself, you take your left hand off the leash, placing it about, 1 or 2 feet in front of his face, and briskly just say, Alfie, stay.
Okay. Shall I do it now?
Yes.
Alfie, stay.
Then walk out to the end of the leash without pulling on it, turn and face him and wait. We usually stay there and count to about 20 or 30 to make sure Alfie understands what we're doing,
And
then return to his side, regaining control of the leash, putting it back in the initial healing position, reach over with your left hand and praise him and tell him he's a good boy.
Good
That's
boy.
very, very good.
Very good. I'm
Very
impressed.
good.
I'm
Very
impressed.
good. Very good. Okay, so the loop of the leash is back on your right thumb.
Yes.
The leash is doubled over,
Doubled
grasp with
over.
the remaining 4 fingers, left hand straight down,
Yes.
arms parallel with your body. You're going to start to walk and say Alfie, heel,
Yes.
and walk across the lawn.
Alfie,
Heel, start to
Alfie,
move.
heel.
Right. Now turn around and come back.
Turn around. Alfie, heel.
Very good. Alfie, heel. Encourage
Good
him along
boy.
with praising
Good
tones.
boy. And
Now
sit.
Okay.
Good boy.
Except as he sat, you moved back,
Oh.
compensating for the dog. What you should do is stay where you're at and let the dog come up to you and sit.
I see.
We don't want you accommodating yourself for
I
him.
see.
We want him to learn to always stay
You
parallel
hear
to
that?
you.
No accommodation from me. You accommodate me, not me, you. So I just told him. All right.
Let's
do
try
it
that
again.
one more time.
Okay.
Alfie, heel.
And Alfie, heel.
Don't wait for the dog.
Alfie, heel. Heel.
Don't wait for him.
Heel. Heel.
Nice brisk pace.
Heel.
Turn and come back.
Heel.
Nice brisk pace. Stop
And-
abruptly. Alfie,
and
sit. He did well. You step back.
Oh, I goofed.
Okay.
You did well. I goofed. All right.
Okay.
Sit.
One more
Now,
time.
One more time. Let me start
Alfie,
a little further.
right.
Okay. Alfie, heel.
Don't wait
Alfie,
for him.
Heel.
Nice
heel.
brisk pace.
Heel. That's a good
Turn
boy.
and come back. Keep
Heel.
him parallel to you. Stop
Sit.
abruptly. Sit. Stay.
Stay.
Left hand comes off the leash, placed about 2 feet in front of his nose. You walk out to the end of the leash and pause.
Stay.
At this point, you count to about 20 or 30, dropping your hand because you shouldn't have to maintain the signal for him to stay there. And once he's done that, we're going to add another little part to your routine, which he's doing so well today, and that is you'll repeat your stay command with your right hand, nice brisk manner, then place the leash in your right hand and circle Alfie to the left, completely around him, keeping the leash in front of him so that he knows you want it to stay there. Now switch hands with the leash, going back the exact same way, a complete circle, keeping the leash off of Alfie's back.
Off of
right,
Alfie.
Back to where you initiated.
So in other words, you always keep the leash off Alfie.
Right.
And you hold it
in the hand that's closest to the dog as you're circling him.
Okay. Which would mean the right hand because I'm going, okay.
That's correct. Complete circle, nice brisk pace.
Right, nice
no hesitancy at all.
And no hesitancy.
Back to the, that's very good.
There.
This teaches your dog to maintain a stay position while there's a movement about him, which you'll actually experience every day out in the public.
Yes.
Now, after you've completed that, go back to where you were. Tell him to stay once again, but the leash goes back into your left hand. Stay.
Stay.
Now return to your dog, regaining control of the leash, putting it back in the initial heeling position.
Look.
The loop goes back on your right thumb, palms across. Now you release your left hand and praise Alfie briskly and tell him he's a good boy.
Very good boy.
It's very, very good.
Very good boy. I think this is the most fun about the whole lesson, the praising, isn't it?
Now,
you did so well.
The third part, as I was saying earlier, that's so important about our training technique is repetition. And that means that you have to practice with Alfie 2 to 3 times a day, 20 minutes at a time until I see you next week.
Yeah. 20 minutes a day, 2 or 3
2 to 3 times a day, 20 minutes each session.
That's 1 hour.
That's a total of an hour in a day until I see you next week, and then what we'll do is review what you've been practicing and go on to the next lesson.
Okay. Aren't you impressed with him?
Very impressive.
He's very smart.
Very smart young man. In this segment, we're going to address housebreaking. Now, my philosophy regarding housebreaking is preventive training. Now, here we have Luffy, who's about an 8 or 9 week old Shih Tzu puppy. The simplest way to housebreak a young dog is by giving them their normal meal and then confining them to a small area, such as this fiberglass transporting cage, or a small area in your home, such as a small bathroom or utility room, small area on the confines on the side of your home. Basically, most dogs, being clean animals, do not like to defecate or urinate where they have to sit or lie down. So what will happen is, after we have fed Luffy and placed him into the kennel, he will whine or cry and or bark when he has to relieve himself. At that time, we will take Luffy out of the kennel very quickly, telling him he's a good boy for having let us know that he has to relieve himself. We will then take him to the surface we've decided we want him trained to, whether it be grass, dirt, or asphalt, put him down, let him run around and eliminate. Once he has, we'll praise him, tell him he's a good boy, even give him a little dog biscuit as a reward, and let him play loosely for a while. We repeat this after each of Luffy's 3 meals a day, and you'll find in a very short period of time, Luffy, wanting to come out and play, wanting the biscuit, will let you know when he has to relieve himself. Now, this exact same method works with older dogs. Of course, we can't go around putting full-size German Shepherds in little carriers, but you can confine them to a small area on the side of your home using a portable puppy gate, which are available in most of your pet shops. You can also confine them on the extent of a leash tied to a tie-out stake, which screws into the ground, and the dog has a limited area in which to move. And once again, once they start barking, take them off the tie-out stake, walk them to the area you've elected to be the bathroom, and let them eliminate. Once they've done so, praise them briskly like we would do with Luffy, and give them a little dog biscuit. This should handle your housebreaking problems.
Nice seeing you again.
Nice seeing you again.
Well, Michael, you'll be impressed because I practiced 3 times a day, 20 minutes with Alfie.
Yeah.
And you want to see the result?
Yes, I do.
All right. Alfie?
Okay, the loop goes on your right thumb.
See?
I'm still a teacher.
Of course, I'm glad.
Okay.
Alfie, heel.
Right hand comes over, palm down on the leash.
Heel, heel.
Bring the right hand over, grasp the leash.
That's right.
Okay.
Heel, heel,
Don't
Alfie.
wait for Alfie.
Heel.
An abrupt
And sit.
stop. Very good.
Very good.
Followed
That's
by
a praise.
not too much.
Stay.
Good. No, no, sit, stay.
Stay. All right.
Walk off and wait.
And stay again.
Now circle right.
Now circle.
Good.
How about that, huh?
Pause. Go back the other way.
Circle again.
Very good.
Aren't you impressed?
Very, very so.
How about that?
Then go back to his side.
Alfie.
The only thing I'd like you to do is stop when you get back to where you started from and count to 15 or 20, and then go back to his side and get back into the healing position.
Now is a praise.
Now it would be time to praise him.
Very good.
Very, very good.
Excellent animal.
Okay, now we're going to add to his repertoire the commands of coming, sitting to you immediately when he comes up to you, and then a little exercise which we call the finish.
Yeah.
And that's an exercise where Alfie learns after he's come up to you and seated himself. Yeah. You say the word heel again, and that tells him you want him to get back into that position called healing.
I see.
He will literally be taught to get up, walk around you, across your back, and sit by your left side.
Good.
Now, a lot of people will ask me, why do you teach a dog to do that maneuver? The reason for it is later on when Alfie is trained to work without a leash, and he's romping loose in the park or in your home, and you want to take him out for a walk, you would use your come command to get him to come to you and sit, and then you would use the finish, which we say heel to get him to pop around you and line up on your side for walking.
I see.
Right.
I do have a little problem with him coming to me. I mean, I practiced that during this week, but he doesn't really want to come when I want him to come.
Okay. Well, I'll show you how to do it properly now. Get yourself into the initial healing position, which we started with last week when you're walking with him.
Right.
Right. Now, release your left hand from the leash and tell him to stay.
Stay.
Keep your hand about 2 feet in front of his nose.
Stay.
About 2 feet, a little further, right. Stand up straight, maintain your posture, stay.
Stay.
Yeah, they have peripheral vision, he can see your
Stay.
hand.
Good.
Now walk out to the end of the leash, put the leash in your left hand, face Alfie and wait. Now, when I tell you to, you're going to give Alfie a beckoning motion across your chest with your right hand. You're going to say, Alfie, C-O-M-E. And as you do so, talk to him very sweetly. You can even bend toward him to coax him toward you and tell him what a good boy he is so that he'll learn to run up to you quickly. And as soon as he runs right up to you and gets very close to you, do what we did in the initial maneuver of sitting.
S-I-T, right.
Pull up on the leash, touch his bottom, and say sit.
Right.
So that he will learn a complete motion of coming to you and sitting.
Right.
Okay?
Now?
Let's try that, yes.
All right. Alfie, come.
Gather up the leash, gather up the leash.
Sit.
Except you
Good
stay in front of Alfie, though.
Oh.
Because Alfie is being taught to come up to you in front of you, and then later on we'll get him back into the healing position.
All right.
Now tell him to stay again with the right hand.
Stay.
Walk out this way so that you can get all the way away from Alfie as long as the leash will allow you to. Further away, right. Pause.
Yes.
Then a beckoning motion across your chest. Gather up the leash, gather up the leash, sit. Now praise him and tell him he's a good boy. Very good. Very good. And once again, though, don't overdo the praise just because he's done it once or twice.
I have troubles with not overdoing the praise because look at this. How can you not overdo the praise?
I know. But we want him to learn to have respect as well as
respect
praise.
as well. Okay.
Sit, off.
Sit.
If he tries to jump on you, knee him and say off.
Off and sit.
Okay.
Sit.
Now tell him to stay with the right hand in front of his face again. Walk out to the end of the leash. Count slowly to 20 or 30. Let's make sure Alfie learns to stay a good long time if you need him to while you relax. And then with a no, put him back where he was. Say no. Briskly put him back where he was. Right, facing the way he was facing.
Sit.
Stay.
And stay.
Walk back out to the end of the leash.
Stay.
And we count to 20 or 30 again. That's why we wait, so that we know that when we call Alfie, it's coming when we told him to come,
and
not when he got tired of staying put.
All right. Can I call now?
No.
I want to call. I blew it.
Come on, bad boy.
It's my mistake. I blew it. Now I have to have more authority, I think.
Right. Now,
because
but don't praise him for breaking a position.
Okay.
And that's what you're doing. See, your body language and your hands are just telling him what he did was good.
Yes.
And you're condoning it.
Yes.
And we don't want to do that. So briskly put him back where he was.
Briskly, Alfie.
Right.
And sit. Sit.
Stay.
Stay.
Right.
Stay.
Now we're going to really wait till 20 or 30. We don't count by fives. And When we're really sure he's going to stay there, then we give him that nice
He's pretty good
brisk
staying now.
hand signal with the right hand across the chest.
Across the chest.
And you can tap your thigh and tell him, good boy, Alfie, come.
Yes. Now?
Right.
Come.
Gather up the
Good
leash.
boy. And sit.
Very good.
Good.
Praise him. Very good.
Boy. That's
much
exactly
better.
the way.
That's exactly the way.
He's smart, isn't he?
He sure is. Doing very well.
Doing very well. You hear our teacher?
good.
Very
That's
well.
a good boy. Now we're going to add one other maneuver to this coming exercise, and
Yes.
that is the one we were talking about earlier, which is called the finish.
Yeah.
After Alfie has seated himself in front of you,
Yes.
and once again you've counted to 20 or 30, so we know he's really going to stay
Yes.
there calmly, then place the leash in your right hand, folded in half.
Yes.
One end just about down to the other end of the leash. The left hand is free and by your side. And then on the word heel, you're going to step back on your right leg, pull back on your right arm, tap your right thigh, and say, Alfie, heel. All of this motion is
Okay.
really saying to Alfie, move this way.
Okay. Now?
And as soon as Alfie moves this way, you're going to bring your leg back up out of the way so that he can go past you. At this
Behind me,
point,
you mean?
Right. At this point, you're going to switch hands with the leash, so now the right hand is empty,
I
and
see.
Alfie will be brought around to your side and be told to sit.
Sounds very complicated.
It is.
Doesn't it? It is.
Well,
All
after
right.
you've done it once or twice, it's
So
not.
let me recap.
Okay.
He's now sitting like a gentleman.
Right.
I have the leash pretty short. I'm stepping back with my right leg
That's correct.
and just backward. I don't turn.
No, not at all. No motion.
And with my left hand, I kind of pat my leg a little.
Right, and your right hand will bring the leash back.
And what do I tell him?
heel.
Good.
Alfie, heel, in a
Okay,
nice,
shall we?
pleasant tone of voice. Yes.
Shall we try it?
Okay.
Alfie, heel.
Switch hands behind your back and step forward. Very perfect.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Look,
Tell him he's
look
a
at this
good
animal.
boy.
He's a genius. Genius. Good boy.
Next stop, Harvard.
Very good.
Very
That's
good.
excellent.
Very good.
Do you think he did it because he knew I had to do it, or was it just an accident?
I think he read the book.
I think so too.
Now put the loop back on the right thumb.
Loop back. It is.
Right. Put the right hand back on the leash. Left hand is palm down. And we're going to take it right from the top and incorporate these two new exercises.
Okay.
So we're building his repertoire.
Okay.
Alfie, heel.
Okay. Alfie, heel.
Nice
Alfie,
brisk pace.
heel.
Turn and walk back.
Alfie, heel.
Very good. Stop abruptly.
Heel. Sit.
Good. Alfie, stay.
Alfie, stay.
Okay. Walk off. Switch hands. Face him and wait. Count to 20 or 30. We've got a lot of time. Tell him to stay with the right hand.
Stay.
Circle one direction completely.
Oops.
Once again, this teaches your dog to maintain a position while motion is being done around him.
I see.
Go back the other way. Very good. Back out in front of him now. Leash back in the left hand. Now we're going to count to 20 or 30 again, nice and calm. Make sure Alfie's going to stay there.
He is.
And now with a nice big beckoning motion across your chest, Alfie, come.
Alfie, come.
And have him come up to you, picking up the leash.
Sit.
Alfie, sit. Good boy.
Good boy. Good boy.
Now we're going
Now?
to pause again to make sure he's really going to maintain that position.
Yes.
And once we're sure he is, then we tap the right thigh
Right.
with the left hand, step back, pulling
Alfie,
back with the
heel.
right hand, switch hands behind your back, step forward. Alfie, sit.
Sit.
He's a bit far away from you, so just pull him a little bit closer. Right. Very good.
Excellent.
Praise him. Very
now,
good.
Alfie, heel. There we
Okay,
go.
right hand goes back on the leash again. Very good.
Good. And sit.
Each and every time you stop. Now that's good. See, Alfie's telling us something now.
That he has-
Alfie's telling us that he knows that he's supposed to sit each time you stop walking with him. Once you see that your dog will start doing that, delete telling him to sit when you stop, because ultimately that's what we want.
Yes.
We want Alfie to know that every time Mom stops moving,
Yeah.
he is to sit and wait patiently until you start to move again.
Good.
So let's try it that way, and this time we won't say sit when you stop walking with Alfie.
You think he'll sit by himself?
It looked like he will. If for some reason he doesn't, then reinforce it with
Reinforce
the push
it
and the
with
right.
with
Right.
the hand on the popo,
That's
in the back,
correct.
and
a
the
little
leash up.
little upward motion with
Right.
the
Okay,
leash.
let's start here. Over here.
Okay, the loop
Come
goes
here.
back on
Let
the
me
right
get this
thumb.
thing out of your hair. All the trees are shedding. Look at this. They look like little caterpillars.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Put him back
All
by
right.
your side.
Back by my side.
Very good. The loop goes back on
Loop.
your right thumb.
Yes, sir.
Palms down.
Okay.
Bring the right hand across. Very good. You might wonder why I keep insisting you get that right hand back on there.
Because you think the dog's smarter than me because I keep forgetting. That's why.
No, eventually you're not going to have this hand on the leash at all. And Alfie's going to heel with you. with the
liberty,
loose-
freedom.
That's right. That's what we're working toward.
Okay.
Okay, Alfie, heel.
Alfie, heel.
Nice brisk
Heel.
pace. We don't wait for
Good
Alfie.
boy. Heel.
Good.
Heel.
Now we stop
I'm going to
abruptly.
make another more. Heel, heel, and sit.
No, remember, we're not going to tell Alfie to sit now.
Okay, forget that I said that.
Okay, we'll
Let's
try
heel
again. Heel.
Alfie, heel. Heel.
Good.
Good boy.
Don't
Heel.
wait for him because he's
Heel.
waiting for you.
Heel.
Right. Now we stop.
He
Good
did it.
boy.
He did it.
Good boy. Now
Good
praise him.
boy.
Reinforce that. That's what we want.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Good. Is that good? Excellent.
Now the stay.
Stay.
Walk
here.
out to the end
Stay.
of the... That's right. Now we pause. We count to 20 or 30. Make sure Alfie's really going to stay there now.
Hand signal.
Stay.
Stay.
Excellent. Now circle right. Completely.
Circle. Isn't he great? I'm so proud.
Takes after his owner.
Thank you.
Back out to the end of the leash. Pause. Count to 20 or 30 again. Now that nice big sweeping motion. Alfie, come.
Alfie, come.
Gather up the leash. Sit.
Sit.
Good boy.
Good boy, boy.
Very good.
Great.
Very good. Now that's the next thing we're going to do. Delete saying sit when he comes to you, because we want Alfie to know that once he comes up to you and sits, that in fact is the complete exercise.
Right.
So tell him to stay this time. Sit.
Sit.
Stay.
Stay.
Walk out to the end of the leash. Sit.
Sit.
Bring him back over here.
Alfie,
He shouldn't
come.
break position.
Alfie, come.
Good. Sit.
Sit. Face.
Okay.
Sit.
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 Good. Stay.
Stay.
Out to the end of the leash. Now this time you're going to have him come all the way up to you. You're going to gather up the leash and encourage him to come, but you're not going to say sit, and we'll see what he does.
Alfie, come.
Good boy. Gather up the leash.
Good.
Gather it up.
Oh, and
Very
he
good.
sits.
Praise
Excellent.
him. So now we know that
Excellent.
after practicing the whole week properly with the dog, 3 times a day, 20 minutes each time, on the heel, he's going to sit automatically. And on this new exercise, which he's picking up very quickly, he's going to sit automatically when he comes up to you and seats himself.
Michael, when you assist the dog in sitting, there is a certain technique I saw you do. Now, I always push at the bottom, and that's wrong, isn't it?
Right. Dogs have many similar characteristics to people, and one of them is that they're ticklish. So what we do is we come back here very quickly, find where his waist is, because he has a lot of hair, so you can just feel it really quick. You put your thumb on one side and your middle finger on the other, and just give him a little squeeze. And because they're ticklish, he'll just tuck right under right away.
Yes.
A lot of people think they're supposed to push on his bottom, but really what happens is the same thing as when you push on a baby's feet.
They push
automatically,
back.
Right.
Okay.
And this way he learns to sit quickly through a method which is very passive. It's just a matter of using his natural reflexes to help him sit.
Right. So what you do is find the dog's waist, give him a tug between,
little squeeze between the thumb and middle finger.
and the middle finger.
Right.
Give him a little squeeze, and then he'll hopefully tuck his bottom under and sit like a gentleman or a lady.
Yeah. And so he's learning in a very pleasant manner that he should drop each time he sits.
I see. Pleasant, isn't it? Yes, he looks all pleased, yes. Indeed. Well, how about that?
That's very good. Now, this lesson as well, you're going to practice 3 times a day, 20 minutes each time, and you add it to the repertoire that we learned last week.
Okay.
So he's learning a larger, he'll have a larger content to each of the lessons.
Yes, and then we can go to the circus after the next 3 lessons. He's going to be so good, he's going to do everything.
We'll get him a job. The nuisance problem we're going to address in this segment is destructiveness and chewing. Now, a lot of these things can be avoided by directing your puppy when you first get them to doing proper things, as opposed to waiting for them to grow up and do a lot of bad things, which require a lot more work. Now, in regard to the chewing, lots of puppies like to chew, like Nika here, as a part of teething. No, that's enough now. Stay, stay, stay. Now, if you supply them with things to chew on, such as natural bones that have been dried and cleaned, and you find them from time to time going after something they really shouldn't be chewing, take it from them, tell them no in a stern tone of voice, as you recall from our lessons, a reprimanding tone of voice, and place in their mouth instead one of the items that we have decided it's appropriate for them to chew on and teeth on, such as a natural bone. You'll find that this in itself will preclude you from having to get into a lot of work later on as they they grow up and start to destroy larger pieces of furniture. Now, if you find you have a chewing problem with an adult dog, of course, then if there's another method we have to use or implement in order to get the dog to stop that type of activity. And what basically you have to do is catch your dog in the act of chewing. So many times it actually requires you baiting them with something that you know when you leave them alone with, they'll start to chew. And then when you catch them in the process of doing this, tell them no, tell them bad dog, which lets them know you're dissatisfied with what they've done, and then take them to an area outside your home if you have a backyard, tying them on a collar and a leash short enough so that your dog can sit or walk around, but not long enough for your dog to lie down and go to sleep. Placing the object, if possible, just outside of his or her reach, and leave them tied for about a half hour. This gives them an opportunity to settle down, look at the object they've chewed, and actually give some thought to what it is they've done and why they're out there. Then when you return to release them from this position, tell them no once more, take the object away, and turn the dog loose. I think between these two methods, you'll find you've pretty well gotten your chewing problems under control. Another bad habit we're constantly being asked about is digging. Now, digging is one of those things, unfortunately, our lovely animals do out of an atavistic trait, which of course tells them there might be something under the ground which they might enjoy looking for. It's one of the problems as well that can only be worked on by actually catching your dog at it. There's really very little you can do about preventing digging other than having a concrete backyard. And what basically you want to do is leave your dog outside at a time that you know he or she might be prone to digging. And when you see them actually start the activity, go out there with something that might startle them, such as a whistle, which you can buy at any Five and Dine and Blow, or anything that might make a loud noise, such as clapping your hands really loud. They also sell in some of the stores little aerosol screechers that make a loud noise as well to get your dog's attention and actually startle them. Tell them bad dog following making the loud noise, and then go back inside the house. You will notice after 2 or 3 repetitions, this has pretty well addressed the problem. If you find that you have a more severe digging problem and your dog does not respond to the loud noise or whistle, then we suggest doing what we did very similarly with the chewing, and that is showing the dog the hole, telling the dog bad dog, and then tying him somewhere in the vicinity of the hole on a collar and a leash short enough so that he or she can sit or walk around, but not long enough to lie down. Leaving the dog there for approximately a half hour, then return, show the dog the hole again, saying bad dog, and turn the dog loose. Make sure the dog does not see you, fill in the hole, and pack it down later on. In this segment, I'm going to address the bad habit of nipping. Now, although biting in adult dogs is quite a severe problem and generally requires some individual attention, which we'll be happy to try and help you with through correspondence, it is best handled by addressing the problem when it first manifests itself, and that's generally as a puppy who starts to nip. Now, the nipping, as you can see here by Joey, is something which they enjoy doing when they're around the teething stage. It usually starts somewhere between 3 to 5 months of age. The thing to do when your puppy starts to nip on your fingers or chew on your hand playfully, as Joey is doing now, simply to open his mouth, take your hand away carefully because those little spiny teeth can hurt, and tell him no, no, and give him something appropriate to chew on, such as this real bone that has been dried and cleaned and is for sale in most pet shops. By providing him with something that is harmless for him to chew on, we've precluded it from developing into a more severe problem as he got older and, of course, then could really hurt somebody.
Well, here we are again. It's our 3rd week, and I must say Alfie has learned a lot, and so have I. And you know, Mike, it's a strange thing, but I think that he really delights in doing well. I get the feeling that he really wants to learn and please me. Are all dogs like that?
I would say actually yes. Dogs are very similar to children in that respect, that they get a great deal of pleasure out of pleasing their masters. Yeah. And on the same token, just like children, they like to test.
Yes, because I realize when I'm a little too lenient with him, which I tend to be, because look at this face, I mean, how can you not be? He takes advantage of it, you know, he kind of gets his own little head, and tries to take advantage of Mama.
But with time and the lessons, he'll learn the limits to which he can push you, and then you two will have a harmonious relationship.
Yes, well, it's harmonious. It's just that my little pupil here, I mean, your little pupil here, is a very loving person. You know, see how he likes how to lean? Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
And I like it too. I know he's not supposed to, but I like it too because it's so cuddly.
Pure love.
What are we going to learn today?
Well, today we're going to teach Alfie to lie down
Yeah.
and to sit from lying down. But first, why don't we review what you've been practicing with him for the last 3 weeks, and then we'll add the 2 new commands.
Okay. You hear that? Okay, here we go. Okay, I got the loop on my right thumb.
Double
the leash.
over.
Okay.
Palm down. Let's make sure Alfie has his choke
Alfie has his choker on correctly, and now here we go.
Yes.
Come on, Alfie. Come on, boy.
Heel.
Come on, heel.
Right.
Come on, boy. Come on.
Now
Come
turn
on,
and
boy.
come back.
Heel. That's a good boy.
Very good.
Heel. Come on,
Stop
Alfie.
abruptly.
Come on and sit. Sit.
Good.
Good boy.
Stay.
Good boy. Stay.
Now let's try it again, but don't say sit, and let's see if he's sitting now on his own.
Come on.
Alfie,
Come on.
heel.
Alfie, heel. Good boy.
dog.
That's a good puppy
Good
dog.
boy.
Yes,
That's
a
a
good
sweet
puppy
boy.
dog. Good puppy
Stop
dog.
abruptly.
That's a boy.
Very good.
Stay.
Stay. Now walk out to the end of the leash. Bad
Yes.
dog. Sit, stay. No.
No.
Sit.
Sit.
Stay.
Stay.
Right. Walk out. Now you wait. Count to 20 or 30. Alfie, stay with the right hand.
Stay.
Circle right. Back out to the end of the leash. Okay.
How about that?
Now the nice big motion. Alfie comes. Gather up the leash so it doesn't get under his feet. Stand up straight and he'll sit.
Now I can
Very
praise
good,
him.
very
now I
good.
can praise him. Very good.
And now we'll do the finish, which you've been practicing all week. Tell him
Sit.
to stay.
Stay.
Hold the leash in half in your right hand.
Wait a minute. I messed up the leash. Okay,
There
I
we
got
go.
it.
The leash is held in half in your right hand.
Yeah. Oh,
You stand squarely in front of the dog,
yes.
okay? And on the command of heel, you're going to step back on your right
Yes,
leg,
I
go back
remember.
on your right arm, and
Yes.
tell him to heel.
Yes.
Alfie, heel.
Alfie. Alfie, heel.
Good boy.
Heel.
Good
Good
boy.
boy.
Step up,
Heel.
step up. Good dog.
Good
Stop
dog.
abruptly. Alfie will sit. Good
And
boy.
he does.
Excellent.
You are
Excellent.
wonderful.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Now we're going to add lying down.
Yeah.
And to do that, stay.
Oh, okay. I mean, the dog lying down or me lying down? Okay, what do we do now?
Okay, now, now we get you to get up.
Okay,
And we have
easy.
have Alfie on the sit stay, facing you.
Okay. On a sit stay.
Right. Stay.
Stay.
Okay, now hold the leash in half in your left hand. Step up really close to Alfie.
Yeah.
The leash is held a little bit shorter to make it easy for you in your
Okay.
left hand.
Yep.
Okay. And you're going to use a big swinging motion, starting from above your head, swinging down to the ground, and say, Alfie, down.
Alfie down.
More than likely, he won't go all the
No.
way down because he doesn't know it. Now,
Yeah.
we're using a single finger as opposed to a whole hand because that's stay.
Oh, okay.
That would confuse him.
Alfie, look up.
Alfie, down. And as you do that, the
Yeah.
next time I want you to give a downward, steady, constant pressure
Yeah.
on the choke chain.
Uh-huh.
And with your right hand, after you've come down, take his right foot and,
And
pull
pull
it
him
out,
down.
pull it out toward you.
Okay.
See, if you lift up his foot, he's off balance, and all
Yeah.
you've got to do is
Yeah. Right.
pull him a little to the left, and he's
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I understand. All right.
down. Okay, Alfie, sit.
Sit and stay.
Stay.
Okay, now we're going very short on the leash, right?
Right.
And we're going
Alfie, down.
down.
Okay, now the
He
second
doesn't
time
do
you're
it?
going to pick
Okay.
up the
Alfie?
right foot, well, his right
Understand.
foot, and you're going to take him to the foot that you've
Okay.
just pulled up.
Alfie, down.
Now pick up the foot and take him to the direction of the
Down.
foot. There we go. Alfie, stay.
Stay.
Stay. Then stand up straight, pause. Let's make sure he doesn't bounce up again.
He likes it.
Then we tell him he's a good boy.
A very good boy. Yes.
Now, no,
Uh-uh.
down
Down, which is short
Stay.
leash again.
and
Pull
towards the
this,
leg that you
and
pick up off the
stay.
ground. Right, stay.
Stay.
Very good. Now we're going to get him to sit from the down, and to do that, we have you stand up.
That's very hard, though, isn't it? Because he probably likes it down there.
Yeah, it's not really hard to get him up from the sit. It's confusing to a dog when people expect him to know how to sit from a down because they're
Yes.
actually separate maneuvers.
Yeah, exactly.
One's raising the front, one's lowering the
Right,
front.
right, right.
So what you do is step back a step or two,
Yes.
and then when you're going to tell him, Alfie, sit, you walk briskly towards him
Yeah.
and tell him to sit, and he will get up into a sitting position.
With a motion like
That's
that.
correct.
Okay. Alfie, sit.
Okay,
Nothing.
Pick up the leash as you go toward him. Sit,
Down.
Down.
Down. Down. Down.
Stay.
Stay.
Right.
Stay. That's a good one. Stay. Stay.
Stay.
Okay.
What you want to do is crowd him so that he feels he has to get up to get out of the way.
Yeah, but he likes me to be close to him. He likes me to crowd him.
That's
so.
why I want you to go quickly.
Oh, okay. Charge. Alfie.
Okay, let's put him back where he broke from. He
Okay.
started initially over here. We'll heel him back to where he broke from. We won't pick him up and carry him because he likes that.
He likes that.
He likes that.
He likes
We're
it.
going to heel him. Sit.
Sit.
And have him
And
face you.
Sit.
Okay, sit.
And
Stay.
stay. And down.
Pick up a foot. Pull him toward the
Down.
foot that's down.
And stay.
Stay.
Right?
Get the leash
Stay.
out. Stay. Pause. Slack off on the leash.
Okay, now.
And then walk towards him abruptly and say, Alfie, sit, and pull up on the leash as you
Alfie,
do so.
sit.
Stay.
Sit. I don't think he likes that.
Yeah, I think he's confused. He's not quite sure about
You
what
do it
we're
once.
doing. It. That's a good
you
idea.
try to do it once, and I watch.
Alfie, down. Alfie, stay. Stay. Okay. Alfie, sit. Sit, Alfie. Stay.
You did
What
it.
what you do is as you come up to him, he thinks you're going to just crowd him right back, and so he just gets up into a sitting position to prepare himself to back away from you. But then you stop. So after you do that a few times, he realizes what you really want him to do is simply raise his front.
Okay. That's difficult. I think it's the hardest so
It's
far,
a
isn't it?
little harder, but we're moving into harder things as we move into his
Yes.
repertoire because he's now used to being
Yes,
trained.
yes, yes.
Right.
All right. Now, Alfie, down, 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 and it's not all the
Stay.
way down.
No,
down.
just do it. Continue the same method you were
Okay.
using. The foot off the ground,
Down.
pulling the chain towards the foot that's off the ground.
Stay.
Right.
Okay. Stay.
Then
Go away
step
from
back.
him.
Right.
Stay. Stay.
And have him lie down. Sit. Pick up one
Down.
foot. Pull him toward the foot that's
Down.
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 Stay.
Down. Down. He's not all the way down.
Okay. Push down on the back of his shoulders a bit.
Down.
Right. Stay,
boy.
Alfie.
And
Stay.
stay.
Okay.
And
sit.
sit.
There we go.
There we go.
Stay.
Very good.
But as you
Stay.
do that foot motion and that hand
Yes.
motion, give him a little upward incentive in that direction.
A little upward tug.
That lets
But
him
he
know
nearly
that's
did
where
it
we
by
want him to
himself
go.
already,
Right.
which was
Right.
very good.
And that would be the next lesson, which you add to his repertoire.
Yes.
So after healing with him, sitting, walking away,
Right.
circling right,
Yes.
circling left,
Yeah.
you would then call your dog to you and have him sit, have him lie down,
Yes.
the way we've worked on today,
Yeah.
have him sit, and then do the finish, which of course is the last exercise in each routine,
Yes.
where he circles you and sits.
But this, I think, needs a little more work because once he lies down, he doesn't want to get up that happily, you know.
I think one
Which
thing,
I understand. I mean,
I think one thing that upsets some students when they're working with their dogs is that on certain lessons, the dogs will pick them up very quickly.
Yeah.
And so immediately you get it in your head to think that everything you're going to teach the dog, he's going to learn equally as fast, and
so
that's just not
don't be
true.
discouraged if your dog in one lesson picks it up really fast, and the second one, he seems a little more reluctant because eventually, as you saw, he's going to get it. And this is really the first time we did it
That's
with
correct.
Alfie.
Correct.
You know.
And as I had explained when we did lesson 1, repetition is the key to all of this.
Yes.
The more you practice, the more proficient your dog will become at
3
his
times
exercises.
20 minutes a day.
That's correct.
And that's a must. But I mean, the rewards are incredible. You've got then a friend, you can take your dog everywhere. He doesn't make a nuisance of himself. He sits and he lies down, and you can be proud of him, right?
Off. Good dog. Today we're going to address jumping, which is a very common problem with most pets. And it's a type of a problem which we find 2 areas are really prevalent. One is with your dog jumping on people, of course, and the other is with your dog jumping on furniture. Now, jumping on people is pretty easily handled. What we suggest you do is actually have your dog come to you and encourage him to jump up on you. Of course, this seems kind of negative, but you'll see my reasoning here in a moment. Most people, when they come to your home and they see your lovely dog, the first thing they'll do is pat themselves or their hips and encourage your dog to come to them for affection. Your dog then, responding to this, naturally will jump up on them, and then your friend turns to you and says, "My goodness, look what your dog just did to me." So what we basically do is teach the dogs not to jump on people even if they're encouraged to do so. And the way we do this is by encouraging the dog to jump on you by patting your thighs or your tummy. And when your dog does jump up on you, bump him with your knee. Now your dog begins to think there's something underneath him that's getting in the way. And dogs, as most people, will stop things a lot quicker if it's bothersome to them than if they think it's bothering you. The other area of jumping, which is a considerable problem, is jumping on furniture. And this your loving pet will normally do when you're not in the room, because it's always cozier up on the couch than it is down on the floor, especially when mom and dad don't know about it. What you have to do in this regard is very similar to what we had to do with the digging. You have to actually catch the puppy or adult dog at it, making a loud noise, such as with your whistle that you bought in the 5 and dime or your little aerosol screecher, telling them no, bad dog, then leaving the area, giving them another opportunity to do this. This normally will work after 2 or 3 repetitions. Should you find a dog, especially an adult dog, that is not responsive to this, then we use our other method of showing the dog the piece of furniture, telling them they're bad, taking them outside once again, and tying them in a sitting or walkable position for a half hour, then bringing them back into the house, showing them the same piece of furniture, followed by another no, don't do this anymore. This should handle the jumping problem on the furniture. What we're going to talk about next is improper barking. Now, most of the time, when dogs are barking unnecessarily, other than if they're letting you know someone's coming up to the house, they're doing it, as Feather used to do it, for attention or out of boredom. And the simplest and most direct way of dealing with this is, once again, by using some loud device, such as a whistle you can blow, or the aerosol whistle we talked about earlier, something that would make a loud noise to get their attention and startle them, followed by a no. Then turning them loose again in the same environment, going out of sight, and watching and seeing if they do it again. This should address most of your nuisance barking problems.
Well, here we are again at our final lesson, right?
Yes, I hope.
I think so. He's doing really well. Alfie's doing very well. We did practice 20 minutes, 3 times a day.
Good.
And the only thing I'm having a little problem with, Mike, is getting him to lie down and then go away from him and make him, you know, with this motion, make him sit again.
Okay.
So he doesn't, I don't know, I have a little problem with that.
Okay, why don't we start by me checking that out, and I'll review everything for you, and then we'll see how well you're doing.
I think you'll be pleased.
Okay. Come on, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Good boy.
That's a good boy.
Good boy, Alfie. Good boy. Okay, come on. Come on, Alf.
Now show what you learned.
Come on, Alfie.
You show what you learned.
Heel, Alf. Good boy. Heel. Heel, Alfie. Come on, I know you want to go to Mommy, but you got to work now.
Wants to go to Mommy.
Come on, baby. Heel. Heel. Sit. Sit. Good. Stay. Stay, Alfie. Stay. Stay. Stay, Alf. No. Sit. 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 Stay. Stay. Then you give him a big motion across your chest for the come. Come, Alfie. Good boy. Sit. Oh, he's doing that very well. Very well. You can see you've been practicing. Alfie, heel. Good boy. Come on around. Sit. Okay, we need a little work on that. Stay. Alfie, down. Alfie, down. Stay.
Good.
Oh, that's much better than last
Good, much
week.
better than it was, yeah.
Stay, stay. Okay.
No.
Alfie, sit. Very good.
Hey.
Stay. Very good, Alfie. Stay. Alfie, come. Sometimes if a dog, sit, is doing something for the instructor and the student's having some problems, sometimes it can be because the student has something incorrect with the technique.
Yeah,
so I'll review this for you again, and then we'll see how you're doing.
Yeah, because with you he did it perfectly.
Alfie, heel. Good boy. Come on around. Good dog, good dog. Sit. Sit. Very good. That's a very good boy, Alfie.
Isn't that impressive?
Very good. Okay, now let's see how he's doing that for you. So I want to
Okay.
just try something with Alfie. I want to see how his retention is. Stay. Stay, Alfie. Stay. Now, this is how we decide. Stay. If he's developed reasonable retention and collectiveness in his training to stay there with the leash dropped with you several feet from him. Stay. Very good, Alfie.
Even both of us walking around, he's staying. Isn't that great?
Very good.
Okay. Yes, there's back to mommy again.
His
Okay.
first love.
Okay. Now you talk me through, okay? And I'll do it.
Okay, now the loop goes on your right thumb.
Right.
Palms down. Very good. And see now he sits automatically
Yep.
when you get into the position to start the lesson.
Right.
That's telling us he knows it's time to go to work.
Good.
Very good.
Good.
Alfie,
And
heel.
here, Alfie.
Briskly walking
Good,
forward,
good
turning
boy.
around
Come
and
on.
coming
And heel.
back. Right, turning.
Heel, that's a good boy. Heel.
Stop abruptly.
Sit.
Okay, keep him parallel to you. That's
Sit.
it. Now this stay.
Stay.
Very good. Slack off on the leash, walk away. Now count to 20 or 30, nice and patient. Then circle right.
Stay.
There we go.
Fantastic.
good. And back the other way. Looks like he's learned his lessons.
He sure has. So have
Okay, now
I.
back out to the end of the leash.
No,
Sit.
no.
Now let me show you why that happened.
Why did that
You
happen?
draped the leash over his
Oh,
body,
that's right,
and
my
that little
mistake.
cue made
My
him think it was
mistake,
time
not
to
the
come.
dog's
Right.
mistake, not Alfie's mistake.
Okay, now
Okay.
we'll take Alfie back where he was. Sit, Alf. Good boy. That's a
And we start with the stay?
right.
Good boy, stay. Okay,
Mom's only human.
mom's only
Stay.
human, thank you. You stay.
Okay.
Alfie, come.
Gather up the leash,
Come,
and he will sit.
sit.
Very good,
Good
Alfie.
boy.
Okay.
Come.
Heel. The command there would be heel.
That's
and
a
you
I
step
forgot.
back
Right,
on
of
the
course,
right
of
leg
course.
and you pull.
Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's go back here.
Okay, by the way, it's not a good idea to pick your dog up and carry him back to the point of starting again, but rather to use your heel to take him back.
I
Because
see.
dogs are pets. That means they love to be handled and touched.
Yeah.
If he finds out each time he disobeys you or does something incorrectly, he's going to get physically caressed for it. You're condoning his misbehavior.
Absolutely true.
So walk him back to where he was, finish the exercise, and then praise him.
Yes, sir. Come on,
Heel.
come on. Heel, heel. Come on, Alfie. Heel.
Alfie.
That's good boy. Heel.
Okay,
Heel,
walk a
and-
little bit longer back and forth instead of trying to circle with him. It's confusing him today.
It's confusing him, huh?
Yeah, the loop goes on the right thumb. Okay, come on, sit. Good boy. So walk that way and all the way back here into the shade.
And heel. Come on, boy. That's a
Turn
good
to your
boy.
right.
Heel.
Good boy, Alfie.
Good boy. Come
Talk
on.
sweet to him. Come on,
Come
Alfie.
on,
Encourage
Alfie.
him.
Come
Good boy,
on,
good boy.
Alfie. Heel,
Now, see
heel.
what you're doing? You developed something since I've seen you last week. You're stepping back when you're beginning to make a turn. Instead of making a turn the way you actually would by just physically making the turn. What you're doing is you're stepping, and then when you're going to make a turn, you're actually stepping
Yeah,
back.
accommodating the dog.
Right, and
So-
you don't want to do that
No,
because
we
we've
don't.
already taught him to accommodate you.
Good boy. Right. So let's forget accommodating you. You accommodate me.
Right.
So let's go. And let's
Alfie,
go.
heel.
And heel.
Turn to your
Good
right.
boy.
Walk all the way back
Good
to me in the
boy.
shade. All the
Good
way
boy.
back.
Heel. Come
Don't
on,
wait for
baby.
Alfie. Don't
Come
wait for
on.
Alfie.
Heel.
That's
heel.
it. All the way. You turn
Heel.
naturally as if you were
Heel.
walking by
Heel.
yourself. Stop abruptly, and he will sit.
Sit. Good boy.
Now take
Very
the
good.
left hand off the leash. Tell him to stay.
Stay.
Good boy.
Good.
Walk
Stay.
out to the end of the leash and wait. Remember, we're going to count to 20 or 30 to make sure he's really going to stay there.
Right. Stay.
Then circle right without draping the leash on your dog.
That's it.
And all the way out to the front each time where you started from. Okay, now pause. No, sit.
Sit, Alfie. See, he wants to come
Stay.
in. He knows that.
Stay. But you can stop
Stay.
him immediately because he now knows his hand signals and his voice commands.
Yeah. Stay.
Sit, stay. Now let's try the down with a
Sit
great
and
big
stay.
downward motion of your hand.
Isn't it to come now?
Well, you can add these commands, put them in where you like now
Yeah.
because he basically has a little repertoire.
Alfie. Down.
Step toward him.
Down.
Stay. Or
Stay. Down. All the way. Down. Stay.
stay. Back out to the end of the leash and wait. And now sit and pick up the leash and walk towards him briskly as
Now
you do
sit.
it. That's it.
That's good.
Okay,
See,
stay.
Now he likes that. He did
Very
that.
good.
At home, he didn't do that so well.
Yeah, he's doing that better. The only thing
Stay.
I can see is you need a little bit more work on the down. But the
And come. Come.
sit.
Sit.
And now the finish where he goes around you from right to left.
All right, Alfie.
Gather up the leash real short, makes it easier for you and him.
Here.
Step back, switch hands.
Here.
Alfie, sit.
And sit. Sit.
Okay, once he's come around you, put the loop of the leash back on your right thumb, double the leash over, hold it back in the original position.
Yeah.
Okay, now put him parallel to you and have him sit.
He's very relaxed today. I think he's so comfortable with us by now.
Sit. Good boy. Good boy.
Good boy. Okay.
Okay. One last time. Alfie, heel.
Alfie, heel.
Turn
Heel.
around and come back
Good
toward
boy.
me. All the
Good
way
boy.
over here.
Heel.
Talk nice
Heel.
to him.
Good
That's
boy.
a good boy, Alf.
That's a baby.
Good
Come on.
doggy. Now turn.
Come on, Alfie.
Turn. Sit. Stay.
Stay.
Walk out to the end of the leash. Face him and wait. Now with a great big swinging motion of your hand, step toward him and try the down. Alfie, down.
Down.
No,
He did
that's
it. He
that's
did
right.
it. He did it.
Stay. Let me just point out one thing. When you said the down, that was terrific. But for some reason, you started to come up with this hand, which would actually start to tell him sit.
Uh-huh.
So make sure that when you give the down hand signal, the left hand stays loose and relaxed, and the right hand just swings down like that. That was very good.
Stay.
Right.
Good
very
boy.
good. The very opposite is when you're going to make him sit. Now that hand signal will come up. Alfie, sit.
Sit. Sit.
Sit. Stay.
Stay.
Okay, step
Stay.
back to the end of the leash and wait.
Stay.
Good. Now call Alfie up to you.
Alfie, come.
Gather up the leash, all the way up close.
Sit.
Sit. Stay.
Stay. Good boy.
Okay.
Good boy. Very
And
good.
bunch the leash up in
Stay.
your right hand one last time for the finish. Step
And-
back on the right leg.
heel.
Switch
Heel.
hands. Step
There we
forward.
go. There we go. Come.
Sit. Have him sit before you start to walk off.
Oh, I
The
forgot.
finish-
I never did that.
The finish in itself is one complete exercise. The dog will circle you, sit by your side,
Okay.
and then after he has seated himself, you would start
Sit. Good boy.
to walk and heel.
Sit. Good boy. Sit.
And keep the leash bunched up as you
Right.
switch hands.
And heel.
Heel, switch hands,
Heel.
bring him around, up
Sit.
to your side, stay. This gives you an opportunity to put the leash
Leash
back in
on
the
the
original
thumb.
walking
Right.
position, and then Alfie, heel, you'd be
And
ready
Alfie,
to start
heel.
again.
And heel.
Very good.
Heel. That's a good boy. Heel.
Heel,
That's a good boy.
stop and have him sit.
Sit.
Very good. Now praise him. Good boy.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Now, you
What
should
a
continue
smart animal.
practicing these exercises with your dog each day until it gets to a point where you can perform these exercises with a very loose leash. And then you'll know the dog really understands.
Yes, and then
what it is
eventually you will do it without leash.
Yeah, that's our next tape.
All right.
Tape 2.
Well, Alfie, you are a real trooper. I'm proud of you. I mean, if he keeps this up, he could become another Benji, couldn't he?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. All it takes now is repetition.
Yes, not bad for a beginner, and not bad for a $41 dog, right? Okay, you see how easy it is? Now, just review those 4 lessons on your cassette, and if you are a little unsure about one point, roll it back to that point and spend more time on it until you get it right. And don't forget the 3 different tones of voice. One is the command, the other one is, of course, the praise, and the third one is the reprimand. And the command, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, the command should be in a strict tone of voice, so the dog knows
monotone.
You mean
Right,
monotone,
firm
you mean what
monotone,
you're saying.
right.
Of course, the praise is, should be very happy and very, very comforting to the dog. And the reprimand should have a little disappointment in it, shouldn't it?
Right, yes, correct.
To make the dog know that you're a little, a little sad about what he's done wrong. But not too much, so he gets upset.
And within a few weeks, you'll be rewarded with a well-mannered, well-trained dog.
And all his life, he'll give you more love than most human beings are capable of.
Gee, this was fun, Elkie. Thanks for training me.
Hey, this little guy may be more talented than I thought. Let me check that out. Excuse us. What did you say? What did you say?
If you are having a problem with any of your dog's lessons or bad habits, send a letter with a self-addressed stamped envelope to Michael Kamer at Kamer Enterprises Incorporated, 13249 Sherman Way, North Hollywood, California, 91605. Being a dog owner is like being a good parent. A dog must be given love and taught good manners. Parents may pay a price when their kids get out of control. This is what happens to dogs whose behavior gets out of control. The sad fact is that approximately 15 million dogs are put to death each year in the nation's animal shelters. Approximately half these dogs will die within 24 hours after being turned in by their owners, who can no longer cope with their unruly behavior. They destroy property, bite people, and are completely out of control. The remaining one half will be put to death within 8 days unless someone adopts them. It is also estimated that between 5 and 10 million dogs are killed in the streets because they are running wild. We believe this videotape will save the lives of hundreds of thousands of dogs a year and will remain in the video stores for many years to come. There are approximately 40 million registered dog owners in the United States. About 15 million puppies are born annually, representing a continuing market.